Hi everybody, my name is Jan Dufour and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from just outside of Louisville, Kentucky. Today we're going to make this sweet box. It says happy birthday. It comes from our Filled with Happiness. There are two sentiments that are larger and then a smaller one, and they all can be cut out with our modern oval punch. As you are watching this today, it will not be available until March 11th, I believe, is the date that it's coming in. So I apologize for that, but there's just a run on them. It's very popular. It's a great punch. It's big, holds bigger sentiments, and of course it does work very well with this particular one. Now inside here, we have a chapstick. I also did it as a birthday gift, which just says happy birthday out here, but the inside I rolled up money and put that in there. So one of the pictures will show it with a $100 bill. Not that we gave that to anybody, but it looked really nice. It is still celebration for just another day. So if you're interested in the join promotion and watching this in February of 2024, in addition to the, for $99, you get $125 worth of product of your choice. There is an additional add to it. You can get this glass mat, the silicone pad, and a chamois, or you can get $30 additional for no extra money. So it's still $99 and there's no shipping charge, just tax. So that's a wonderful opportunity. If you are watching me on YouTube, you'll want to go over to stampmesilly.com. That is where I keep the project sheet. You'll see it if you go to stampmesilly.com and go to this particular Filled with Happiness blog. If you have any questions or if you'd like a catalog for free, you can email me at jandufour@yahoo.com. And if you would like to purchase anything, you can go to my store directly online at jandufour.stampinup.net. Let me put this away. All right, so the first thing we need to do, let me scoot these out of the way, and I'm going to show you how to do it so that you can get it all out of one piece of cardstock, is we need a 7 1/4 inch square. So you're going to want to cut the 7 1/4 first. And that is because this is the exact width we need for the flap. So let me get the 7 1/4 this way as well. This is a scrap, which you can just save for later. This is our square box. This is our flap, but we actually need it 3 3/4, which is what size that is, by 5 1/2. And that is another scrap, which you can use later. In addition to that, you need, and this is not necessary, but you need some kind of base, which I don't think this is quite big enough. Yeah, no, it's not the right size. You need a square of some sort for a base that is 3 1/2 inches square. And then I decorated it to look nice with Le Shop, because they're all shops, and I thought that was cute with the money particularly, but you can put any kind of decorative paper in there. It is a good idea to have 2 layers, so you could use a colored cardstock for the bottom and something different just for the stability of it. And then if you go to Amazon and search lip balm pouches, plastic money holder, you'll get all kinds of choices. I think I got 60 of these for $10. And of course you can also put little other treats, coins, all kinds of different things in there, but it was made for chapstick and money. It comes with some little glue strips. You know, you could put it all the way around. I'm going to end up putting one at the top. They disappear when you take the white part off. The color, you can't really see it. And I just put one at the top and at the bottom. And we'll use that in a little while. So I'm going to put these all aside for right now. The leftover, you need a scrap for the center part that comes out with the punch. So we're going to start with our Simply Scored. And you can score it on your paper trimmer, but this is a little bit more accurate, I think. And I do use the smaller end. And again, my project sheet has all of the measurements on there, but you're going to want to score at 7/8, 1 3/4, 5 1/2, and 6 3/8. Rotate it 90 degrees and do the same thing again. So 7/8, 1 3/4, 5 1/2, and 6 3/8. And then while we have the score tool out, we'll go ahead, take your flap along the long side and do it at 7/8. Rotate it 180 so that you're getting the 2 scores on the far end. Okay, and I will put this away. Now you want to burnish, fold and burnish. So we're going to do that to all the edges. It makes a clicking noise when I do it on the glass, which is fine with me. I hope it doesn't annoy anybody. Turn your volume down if you don't like the clicky sound. Be almost done here. This is the fourth side. And then, oops, and then we just need to do the 2 edges that we'll be using later. I'm going to put that aside. Okay, so now I do have, let me put this away, a picture of this square. It is to size. I don't know if it'll print to size, so I can't promise. Go by the score marks, but it gives you an idea of what it is that you're doing. What did I do? I'm looking in my garbage now, if you can believe that. There was, well, we'll just have to hope that I can guess right. Anyway, we're going to cut now. Let me put this aside. Oh, I didn't actually throw it out. Oh, let me put this over here. All right, so we're going to use our snips, and I'm going to turn it this way so that the tabs are top and bottom. So you're going to cut up the first and second score all the way across. So we're going to do this and this. All the way up to the second one. Okay, so you got all of this going on. I'm going to turn it 90 degrees and you're going to cut this entire flap off. So we're cutting off both sections. And then on the second one, we're just cutting the bottom square out. So as you can see, it's right there. And we're going to turn it the other way. We're going to cut the outside one off. And then the inside one, we're just going to cut it so that we have tabs. As you can see, we have tabs and it fits. Then just to make it neater when we're doing it, I'm going to go ahead and angle cut these little pieces off. It's just a very small triangle. And it just makes it, I don't even know if you can see that. Yeah, you can. It just makes the tabs less bulky when they're inside. I fold this away so I don't accidentally cut. And as you can see, a little bit wider at the bottom and to the very end at the top. All right, so this side is done. We're going to turn it 180 degrees. We're going to cut up to the second score mark all the way across. And then we're going to turn it 90 degrees and cut that first one off. And then only the bottom flap or the bottom square for this side. turn it back and cut off both. And then just one. Fold this out of the way and angle cut these. And as you can see, I mean, you're going to take your time the first time you do this, and it's going to be a little bit slower for you. But this is essentially how you make all boxes. There are some shadow boxes that are made a little bit differently, but this is a very basic box. The measurements just change, and you'll get more comfortable. Let me get rid of my garbage. You'll get more comfortable with cutting them. But as you can see, this fits very nicely. And so the next thing what we're going to do is put tear and tape. We're going to flip it over so this is the inside of the box, if you will. And we're going to put tear and tape along all 4 sides. And I will mark that on there. I don't have it marked yet. I have it marked on my less pretty one that I had. And you don't have to use a tool for cutting it off. The only reason I do, sometimes tape shows, this does not. But the only reason I do is when you tear, and there's an example, when you tear and tape, and you're just holding it and you pull it up, sometimes it cuts the paper. Now, you would think that this would be a disaster, but it truly is not, because that's not going to show. So, I didn't mean to show you what could happen, but I'm glad I did, because that is what I'm trying to avoid by using a straight edge. It doesn't have to be a roller. It can be a credit card. It can be anything that's straight enough to allow you to tear it off. And it does avoid ripping the paper if that's ever happened to you. Now, sometimes it really matters. This time it does not. All right. Put the tear and tape away. Now I'm going to mark on here as well when you have the flaps in the down, I call this the down position. They're down and up above instead of sideways, if you will. When you have it in this position, you want to do the 2 on the side, and that's why this does not matter. You want to take those off first and go ahead and fold them in. So I'm going to do this one and this one, and you can just go ahead and fold it in. And like I said, that's why it doesn't matter. You have to do that when the tabs are up and down. If you do it when they're sideways, you won't be able to make your box, and that would be sad. I will mark it on here which sides to do first. Okay. The next thing you're going to do, and this is my take your pick tool. This is an additional end. It's not the end that it comes with, but I love it. It's got a curve on it. It's a wicked sharp tool. You don't want to stick yourself with it. I have done that. Yes, I have. But it does get underneath stuff and pull it off so much better because it's curved. I think it just makes it easier. Anyway, all right, so now these are sticky. So you're going to turn your tabs in, okay? And because we've angle cut them, let's see if you can see that. There's actually, let's see, a space right here, which makes it easier on you. And I do one side at a time, even though both of these are, and I'm going to just give it an extra special fold here. Even though the tear and tape goes all the way across, I'm just going to hold the one side in, and I'm going to bring this around. And what I'm doing is I want to make sure I'm only pressing on this side, not the other side. And I want to make sure that everything is square here. I'm putting the edges nice and straight. As you can see, this side is still up. Although it pretty much makes it right by itself, you still have the opportunity to, push this in or out. And you do want it to be squared up so that you have a nice square side here. All right, now we're going to do the same on the other side. Again, I'm got both of them in position, but I'm only gonna, I'm not letting it be out here. I want it nice and square where it belongs. And I'm just pushing down on that side. And then I'll go tackle the other side. And it does really put it where you want it. It really is very helpful that way. It works really good. All right, so there's the bottom of our box. Now we're gonna work on the top part of our box. And I'm gonna bring in a tool that's not available to you anymore. It's my Stamparatus, and I'm sad for you if you don't have one. It really is an awesome tool. However, I do show you how to make your own stamp positioner for very few dollars. I think the cases, I think they went up a little bit. I think you get 4 for like $10 now. And you can use them for other things. For example, I have my chamois in here. And yes, I poked holes so that it would dry without getting moldy. But I use this, it works very well. It's just not as good as a Stamparatus. I have demonstrated this many times. Go to my blog and search for stamp positioner, and it'll come up and it'll show you how to make one. And it works good. It really does. I have used it quite a bit, but it's just so much easier to actually use a real stamp positioner tool. And so that's why I'm using this. You cannot get this anymore. If you are comfortable with spending some money, our stamp positioner was only $50. They're up to 75 or 80 now, or more. But if you're comfortable with getting a stamp positioner, they're really wonderful. They do a lot of different things, not just putting it where you want it, but re-stamping if you stamped poorly the first time. There's different techniques you can do with it. So I encourage you to either make your own or purchase one. There are different brands. I'm not going to recommend a different brand, just because I know that there are several good ones out there, and I'm sure you all know which ones I'm talking about, but I prefer that you I haven't done a comparison, and so I'm not comfortable with recommending anything. So we're going to use Night of Navy, and I'm going to go ahead and put some ink on this stamp. Oh, I wasn't sure how I did it. I couldn't remember if I'd put it in there flat or open, but I did it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp it. And I like this because, as you can see, it's not completely stamped. I can do this and see if that does the rest of it. It's still not good up here. I'm gonna put it here. Isn't it nice to be able to do it multiple times? And if that didn't do it, it's because this is not the right magnet. It's too fat. But if I needed to, I could have re-inked it. And again, because it's up in the, I don't usually even use this, but because of the folds I did. I usually just make sure it's up in the corner, and you can go ahead and stamp it multiple times. It's also great for when you're doing multiple cards. Now, besides doing the, and the color I'm using is, what is it? Balmy blue. I had to think a minute. I'm also, let's see, do I need anything else out of this? No. I'm also going to stamp it on plain white, and I'll show you why in a minute. I'm not going to use it because the magnet, because like I said, I usually just make sure it goes up in the corner. It didn't stamp completely, so I'm going to go ahead and re-ink it and show you, because I know it's up in the corner. And there you have it. Perfect. All right. So I am going to put this away. And we're going to attach this and close the stamp pad. This is very cute all by itself. But the purpose of having this particular one is so that I can punch out the center bird section. Now you could use this as well. but I'm not going to, so I'm going to throw it over there. I'm also going to give you an alternative because it's not available immediately, which I am so sorry about, but this is what was planned. I did come up with an alternative. So if you wanted to use a different color than the flat color, I happen to use the same color. You can also, using your nested essential dyes, using the second biggest, no, third biggest, no, actually, the very biggest. We'll cut out this section, and then the second smallest, cut out the middle. So you can do the same type of thing, and either elevate it or not elevate it, but get away with doing the same thing as not having the actual punch. I'm sorry, my mind went, I don't know where. Let me put this away. Okay, so now we're going to put it together. I did color this, and I think I used, let's see, I used Balmy Blue, and I'm not going to color this real pretty. Actually, it's too small, and I'm going to use the small end. I'm not going to spend a lot of time coloring it, because these videos are long enough, but you get the idea. You can, actually, what I want just to be fancy, I'll use the darker one, the Balmy Blue Dark. I will use it for this section. And since there's lots of black lines or Night of Navy lines in there, I forgot this. It makes it darker anyway. And then I used Granny Apple Green for the leaves. Again, it doesn't really take a lot of coloring, so you could leave it just maybe even if you had done this in the Balmy Blue and just not colored it in at all. That would be pretty as well. Did I get them all? Nope, I always forget one. There's always like a few little leaves sticking out here and there. Okay, and then I don't even know that this helped any at all, but I used Flirty Flamingo, and I purposely missed the dots because if you color in the dot, you can't see it. So like I kind of colored outside it a little bit. So you could notice that, oh yeah, she really did color in a little bit of it just to give it some color. Okay, now I did put this up on dimensionals, and I would probably use 4 for this. I noticed that the backing is coming off these often all by themselves, so that one got in a funky place, but that'll work. It doesn't matter. I usually pick them up if I can to be able to grab a hold of them. The other thing that works really good is you take your pick tool. You just kind of stab it and scoot it off. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this in the center. And without getting my head in the camera, that's pretty good. Put these out of the way. All right, and then to attach it, all you do is you make sure I'm doing this right side up. Put a little bit of glue all along the edges. Oops. And because it's a flap, I'm going to squiggle a little in the middle. And then just, you have time to wiggle it. So I just kind of put it up against it and then make sure that it's where it belongs. I kind of scoot it more in the center, and it's exactly the same width. Then you can kind of lay it down this way and press on the inside. You can use your bone folder if you want to, but you don't really need to. And then this little thing that is really hard to see, I'll just get another one because I'm not sure where they are. This is a Velcro dot. They're thin, again, Amazon. They're thin 5/8 inch Velcro dots. And I just put them together. They come separate. I just put one on top of the other. One is the loop and the other is the hook. You know, some people like one over the other being in a particular place. It doesn't much matter to me. I'm just going to put it in the center. And I push it down good so that that side is adhered. Then I'm just taking off the other cover and leaving it attached because then it's in the right spot. And then I'm going to close it and make sure that it's centered. Press it. Then I can take it off and really press it. Press both of them real good. And that makes the closure for the box. And then if they're sticking out a little bit, just kind of scoot them in. You can do this to the corners a little bit. Not so much that they look like they've been bent purposefully, but and that'll kind of straighten it out a little bit and keep it where you want it. For the inside, all we did simply was, I made a mess here, didn't I? Oh no, that's the plastic cover. They stick to everything. All I did, I like the little shop effect, if you will, was put some liquid glue on the back. And you don't need a lot because it's just laying on top of the basic white. You can use any color. This is just what I used. Kind of make sure it has a frame. The actual measurement you need is the 3.5 square because that's what size the inside of this box is. I do not adhere this down because if there's any problem getting the money out, you don't want them to destroy the box, right? And this is 3.5 inches. So that's why you need the 3.5 inch size. So you go ahead and just take off the plastic. Actually, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to put another one in there, but you just want to make sure anything that you want to read. So like if you were putting money and it was a $50 bill, you'd want it turned so that you could see what it is and you would sit it down there. And what I also did was I stamped, I'll show you one that's already done. I love that we're friends. I just stamped that in Night of Navy. This is one that I did complete with the Burt's Bees, and it's cute. And I will put that in there. I'm going to put money in the other one, so I didn't want to adhere it right now because I don't have any money on me. But anyway, so you can put whatever you like in there. You could also put treats on top, and they wouldn't see that until they got the treats out. But you do want them to be able to take this out. That way they don't destroy the box, for one thing, because they can lift this up and it'll rip the paper, but it won't destroy the whole present-y box. So that is it. And again, I apologize. The punch is not going to be available until, I believe it's March 11th. So that's like not quite 2 weeks away. But again, if you have, and it doesn't have to be the nesting dies, if you have any other dies, this doesn't even have to be cut out. You can just cut out the center and put that in the middle if you want to separate it, or just do this on white and put that on top. And then you don't even have to have the two different ones. But that is it. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, please give me either a thumbs up or click the subscribe in the notification button. I post once a week, unless there's a flash sale like free shipping, which I always like to let people know about. You can go to my blog if you are on YouTube, which is stampmesilly.com, and you will have both I will add the markings on there for the tape, and also the project sheet, which is right there, is available on my blog to download under this particular posting. Thanks so much for stopping by. Have a great day. Bye.